Lights up, we taking it high, can't relax. Voices of the culture, welcome NBA Max. Truth in the numbers, fire in the stats. If you love this game, then you know we run it back. Sorry from hoops, social building roots where I stand. Home with legends, reminisce, shaping who I am. Culture in the moment, every voice gets a seat. We rise together strong, community complete. Fluent from sports, fluent, making knowledge appear. Turn the jargon to a language every fan can hear. Break it down simple, then I lace it with finesse. Wisdom flowing smooth, that's the art of success. Chris from All-American Hooper, I give it 100, no doubt. Teacher on the grind, showing what it's all about. From the classroom lessons to the sweat that I show. Built for the hustle, that's the only way I go. It's Jalen Carter on the beat, every bar's in tune. Turn arenas to a stage, make the culture boom. Notes hit like buckets, rhythm sharp as an axe. Soundtrack of the moment, this is NBA, man! Lights up, we taking it higher.
What I just realized too,
Yeah.
because both on TikTok, I can actually put these on
Perfect.
because they can hear you talking. I'm assuming you're on your phone,
Yes.
which is good. I'm gonna like my own stream on TikTok because I don't like seeing 0 hearts. Because this is all new. So, anyways, here we are. We've got Spurs and Warriors. It's 56-49 at the half. We'll give you some live reactions to that game as we go. While it's halftime, we can actually kick into the actual conversation that we're going to have. We really have 2 topics that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the new format of the NBA All-Star Game. Yes, it's crazy early. I don't care. And we need to talk about obviously what's going on in Dallas. So I've had, obviously, as I'm sure you had, multiple conversations with multiple people about what's going on there. What have you noticed? What is going on? What are your thoughts and opinions? I know what I think. I think I have a very different view than most people, I believe. So I want to hear your take on it first.
It's weird just because
I know his name is Nico Harrison. I'm lazy and I say Nico Harris all the time, but
okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah, I know what you mean.
You don't even know who he is. Yeah, I know his name. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's weird just because this is a guy who just one move altogether has just completely tarnished his entire legacy. Like, I don't know how. I'm sure somewhere, some way in the next few years he'll find his way into like an advisory position to see exactly what exactly he can do there. But that being said, his whole legacy in Dallas is just completely tarnished. As I said, for the most part, he didn't do a terrible job before the trade. Like he ends up, obviously drafting Luka is a big thing. He made a couple of great moves, and then built a team, first team to make the finals. So they were the 4 or the 5 seed.
Everybody liked Kyrie. He picked up Kyrie. Everybody seemed to like that.
He did pick up Kyrie. That's right, and he picked up Kyrie when his value was at his lowest. Like, this was a guy who had just the year before, like, sat out the entire season due to the COVID vaccine, and then he was injury prone, demanded a trade out of Brooklyn. Like, not many teams wanted him, and he was able to get him for dime on the dollar, pretty much. Like, he was able to. Who did he trade? He traded like Dinwiddie and like a couple other pieces for him. It wasn't like a slam dunk trade by any sense, but it ended up working out for them big time. Obviously, Kyrie being the second best player on a team that made the finals. But that being said, I'm going to give credit to Rusty Buckets here. He's a YouTuber. I'm not going to use his exact same language or like the exact same analogy, but it's kind of similar to the sense where you can talk about this one guy. He's a great father. He works really hard at his job, gets along really well with everyone. Everyone gets along with him. But that being said, one day he walked into your house, whether he had too much to drink or something, and he took a crap on your living room. At the end of the day, you could talk about all those things. You could talk about all the things he did, but oh no, he took a grab in my living room. Like, I don't like the guy. There's nothing else he could do. I don't care how great of a guy he is. So, it's like, yeah, Nico traded Luka Doncic for, again, dime on the dollar. Granted, Anthony Davis is one of the best players in the league, but you don't trade a guy like Luka, and that again has tarnished his legacy altogether. So that in of itself has just completely it shows you how like one moment can ruin everything.
And that's right there. That narrative is where I have a huge issue. because Nico didn't trade Luka. He's the guy whose name is on the trade. I understand that his name is on the trade. I'm not going to argue that. You don't trade Luka Doncic unless your ownership tells you to trade Luka Doncic. He didn't sit there and say, I've got a 25-year-old superstar, top 5 player in the NBA, gonna go down as one of the greatest of all time. I'm gonna get rid of him. We knew that there was pressure even from prior to Jason Kidd being there. Rick Carlisle wanted Luka gone. He didn't like the lack of defense. He didn't, all the same excuses that they made when they traded him. Those were all there. So you have my understanding. You have Jason Kidd saying, "Hey, we've had to adjust to play to Luka's pace." By the way, that got you to the NBA Finals, but we've had to adjust to play to Luka's pace, and we're not getting the defense. And look, he was looking. Look at him not last year to this year. He was out of shape in comparison. So I got an out of shape guy, and I need a defensive. I need more defense on my team. That's how I want to win, is through defense. That's who Jason Kidd has always been as a coach. He loved Anthony Davis. He did a great job as an assistant with the Lakers when they won their championship in the bubble. Then you have ownership saying, well, if this guy's not, able to last, to be in shape, to play defense like coach wants him to be, I'm not paying $300+ million for. He probably would have been a $400 million man. I don't know what his contract was going to be, but anywhere between $300 and $400 million. We don't want to commit to that. We're trying to move this team to Vegas. We're trying to build a new stadium with a casino here in Dallas. Like, we've got bigger plans than paying one guy, let's call it $350 million. They go to Nico and say, Luka's got to go. Figure it out. He calls the Bucks. They say no. Don't be surprised if he didn't have a conversation with Boston about Tatum. That probably didn't go anywhere. He talked to Minnesota about Ant. No chance. Right? And it wasn't that Luka, I don't think they even believed him. I honestly don't think they believed that I think that
either they didn't believe him, or they thought, what's the catch here? Is he injured? Is that because he was injured at the time? So maybe they thought, okay,
he was injured at the time. It might be worse than it is. I'm not going to fall for that and give you my, a generational player for your damaged goods. So they said no. He had a relationship with Rob Pelinka. We know that, right? And so he goes to Rob and he says, listen, none of these guys are taking me seriously. Luka's gonna be fine, but I can tell you this, right? Because I know you and we have this relationship. I trust you. Ownership, whether it's ownership, whether he says it's J Kidd, whether it's just the powers that be, whatever the terminology is that he used, he says, these guys want me to trade him. So what can we put together that just doesn't, any trade's going to look bad, but what, I know J Kidd loves Anthony Davis. Throw in what was it, a Max Christie, and whatever, and let's make this deal happen. Well, Rob Pelinka's sitting there and he's licking his chops. He's like, I have no idea how my presence on TikTok is so low. That's a great question. It's probably because no one knew I was coming. I will stop and read a comment every time. Anyways, and so they're sitting there and he's like, okay, well, if I get Anthony Davis, who I know he loves, and I look at my roster. So I've got Kyrie. I've got Clay, who, listen, Clay's not Clay, but I'll explain why he's not Clay in a second. Yeah. But you don't know that he's Clay. So I got Kyrie. I got Clay. I got PJ Washington. I got Lively. I got Gafford. You throw in AD. If you look at that roster healthy, big caveat, but healthy. Appreciate your success. You look at that roster healthy. You should come on YouTube, Sports Fluent YouTube. Anyways. You look at that roster healthy, and you're like, well, this is a defensive-minded team that, again, healthy. You're gonna get scoring from AD. You're gonna get scoring from Kyrie. You're assuming you're gonna get some catch and shoot 15 a game from Clay. I know it's not the same Clay, but 15 a game from Clay. There's no reason not to think this team isn't in just as good a position to make a run in the West. Could they make the finals? Maybe. As always, things have to go right. But if they're healthy and they're playing the right way for that team, which is slow down the pace, because you can't play at that same pace you were playing with Luka. You don't have a guy like that anymore. Slow down the pace, focus on defense. This team can be competitive. So when you make the trade, it's blockbuster, it's crazy. I get it. All of those things are true. But if Kid adjusts his team, and let's keep in mind who's missed time this year. AD's been hurt, Lively's been hurt, Gafford's been hurt, Kyrie obviously is hurt and hasn't played even one game. So how the heck can we say that these guys are, how can we judge the GM on the roster he put together? Oh, by the way, you've got D'Angelo Russell. You got some other, look, I know he's not great, but as a bench player, he's fine. So I've got an okay like, again, knowing, because I will refuse to believe he makes that trade without it, knowing that he was told get rid of Luka, and who else? There was no other deal. I guarantee you he tried. There's no other deal. I think he did okay. And when you look at the roster's good. Like, it's a really good roster. It's a really good roster. I think the issue is Jason Kidd. I think Jason Kidd was in a power struggle with Nico. I think he was talking to the ownership and saying he's not the type of player that wins you a championship. Look what happened in the finals. Yeah, he got us there. But look how he was exposed. Our defense was exposed because of him. You're going to give him $350 million? No, it's not going to happen. That's my take. Okay. Right or wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to think about that. Yeah, mainly just because as much as people like to claim that Kid has always been like this great coach, when he was with Milwaukee and when he was with Brooklyn, he was known to be one of the worst coaches in the league. And when he was first hired to Dallas, it was known to be like a not great move at all. So
they give credit for developing Giannis, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I think you put him in a position where he became a better ball handler and a better passer, which has helped. But really, that's not where he was like having him play point guard. I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure.
Clearly not as the point guard.
Yeah. So, obviously he did a good job, like for maximizing the roster at the time. But if what you're saying is true, then yeah, it's a valid it's a valid, like, I don't want to say conspiracy, but like it's a valid thought to have.
It's not a conspiracy. I think when I say it, is there anything that doesn't make sense in what I said?
Not really. No. No, that is one thing. No, the thing you brought up is extremely important, though, is that this trade does not happen unless ownership signs off on it. Like, it's
people forget owners have veto power.
They do 100%.
An owner at any time an owner can say, no, we're not doing that trade.
So if they have to sign off on every single trade, like if
you're against it, it doesn't happen.
And it's and Mark Cuban's not the owner at the time, but like is not like the owner, but like he still has like a ton of power within the organization. Like, you're telling me that like he had no idea, like he's claiming, like
I don't believe that for a second either.
No, of course not.
He knew. Now he might have said, I disagree, like, because he loves Luka, keep Luka. He may have said keep Luka, but at some point he might have said, okay, I get why you're doing it. Yeah, okay.
Right. So yeah, I just don't know. And notice how this entire time we haven't brought up the actual conspiracy, which is the league stepped in and said, hey, we need to bring Luka to the Lakers. Let's go, and we'll give you Cooper Flag in exchange for.
That's the conspiracy part of it, is where where the league said, hey, if you're going to do this, because the league has to sign off on the trade too.
Yeah.
And so, hey, Luka to LA makes sense. Big market. LeBron's on the way out. He's going to, get replaced. Makes sense. And hey, we'll help you out. We'll give you. I've been saying, just for the record, so I'll leave my Cooper Flag take for another week. But I said before, I think he's got bust potential.
Yeah, you have said that before, and I'm like, here's you waiting until next week when our guy Ori B is back, who's the biggest Cooper Flag fan out
That's
there.
right. I'm waiting for him.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
guy from Maine's gonna go lose his mind.
yeah. Mhm.
And so all I'm saying is I didn't even mention Cooper Flag as part of the roster. And you know what? You're gonna say, oh, they got lucky. Okay. Well, the GM gets to be lucky too. He gets to make that decision.
And my favorite thing about that entire thing is all the creators out there who say who say oh, basketball gods don't exist, like the whole like it's a disgrace how the Mavs were rewarded this pick. They're acting like Nico murdered someone. We've being rewarded. Like he just traded his best player. Like he traded his best player to LA. By the way, it's not like they like brought him to like this poverty franchise. They gave him an upgrade. So I just don't like. I understand why people don't like him because they think he's a bad GM. But this just like this entire vendetta against his character is just like outrageous. Which I know it's social media at the end of the day, so like it's bound to explode.
Listen,
but what are we doing?
They wanted a villain. They wanted a fall guy.
Yeah.
Look who Dallas is hiring: a bunch of ex-players, friends of Jason Kidd's. Let's not be crazy here, right? That organization under that ownership that owns the Sands Casino has an agenda, and it's either build a stadium in Dallas that has a casino attached to it. Thank you. Or we're moving to Vegas. They're making that very clear. And the fact that now you're hearing, there's trade talks of moving off of Anthony Davis. I'm telling you, they are just as worried. And anyone who doesn't believe this I'm sorry, you don't know as much about hoops as you think you do. They are worried that healthy, this team's going to be good, because even trying to lose, even with the injuries, 3-7. Guess what? The Clippers are 3-7 too.
Yeah,
that's not that bad. I know it sounds horrible, 3-7, but this team, they know. Oh, if we get Kyrie back, if AD gets healthy, this team can make a run. And if
multiple teams have started off with a crappy record, 3-7, 2-6, and they've recovered themselves to maybe not title contenders, but they've I think like the Rockets in 2019. He's like obviously the Rockets in 2018 they won 65 games, and then 2019 they only won like 50 something, but still they started off like 1-8 and ended up being the second best team in the West.
Hey, listen, yeah, exactly, and to Theo in the chat, same thing. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you caught the beginning of that. That's what I was saying. They didn't want to give Luka the max. They want that casino, whether it's in Dallas or Vegas. They don't care. They really don't care. They just want to have another casino. I would actually assume that they probably wanted to have it in Dallas. But there's going to be a team in Vegas. Don't be surprised if it's like an NFL thing. Like if you remember when Cleveland left and went to Baltimore, and then Cleveland got the expansion franchise. Like there's nothing to say the Mavericks couldn't move to Vegas and then be replaced by another Dallas, like another team in Dallas. There's a million scenarios where that can happen. So we covered so it's like I said, I think it's a combination of Jason Kidd and the ownership wanting to move on from Luka because of the money, because of what they want. And so and that's sort of brings it full circle, because I got sidetracked with the Vegas comment, is that they want that move to happen. So that's the only reason now you trade AD, because what are you going to get for an injured AD? Right? Like for Luka, you had to
that's what I thought. Yeah, like
you said pennies on the dollar. You're going to get pennies on that dollar, which isn't a dollar, right? Like you're going to get fractions of a penny on on those pennies.
I don't even know what like I'm trying, because we also started laying out the we'll probably start doing this tomorrow in our Making Hoops, but like we were thinking about like which team would benefit most from him. Like I know that someone said the Kings, like Sabonis for AD would be interesting. Well,
might happen because the wholesale changes coming in Sacramento. DeRozan's going to be gone. Levine's going to be gone.
Exactly. Yeah, so I thought maybe he's from Chicago, so and they're doing pretty well. So yes, maybe they might make a splash. Maybe like a Vucevic and picks for AD or something like that. Like I feel like that. I feel like that's like one of the.
That. I would.
I just came up with that on the spot. So I feel like that they're definitely like a top 3 team. Maybe top 3 is pushing it, but like top 3, top 5 team. Like destination of AD if they end up deciding to blow it up. So
I like this one. This was for you because you're a Boston fan. You're a Celtics fan. AD to Boston for Jaylen Brown. No.
Nope.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That one's not happening. I do like the Bulls one though.
The Bulls are interesting.
That one makes sense to me.
Mhm.
For those that we're also watching Golden State and the Spurs at 64-60. Everyone was thinking this is gonna be a blowout. I know it's early in the third quarter. Did you make a pick beforehand?
I did not.
AD to the Warriors for Kuminga? They're gonna need to give more than Kuminga.
They
Or
sure.
maybe not. If we're going pennies on the dollar, and they're trying to lose,
they're going to need to trade one of Draymond or Jimmy for money. I think.
No, didn't. How big is Kuminga's deal? Is it not big enough?
No, I don't think so. I think AD's making like 40 something. That's a great question actually.
I would go. I would go. Give me AD and Gafford or AD and Lively.
Okay.
And you can have Draymond and Kuminga.
Not bad.
I'm sorry. You pair Jimmy, Steph, Lively, and AD. I'm happy. I'm liking that lineup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking that lineup. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, we're gonna stop with the Dallas Mavericks talk for a minute because I need you to teach me something.
Now you're more fluent.
There's changes to the All-Star game.
Yep.
This year, as every year, because they're trying to make it interesting. Tell me what those changes are.
So, from what I've seen, I just had it up by accident, but from what I've seen, it's similar to what it was 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago or last year when they did the like the tournament style? That was last year because we watched it on here together. So it's going to be 3 teams. So it's same as before. 24 total players are going to be selected for All-Stars. Okay, it's up right now. Okay, so 3 teams, 2 US and 1 Worlds. It's going to be 4 games played, 12 minutes each. It's round robin, so each team plays the other 2. So, and then the championship is the top 2 from round robin meet in game 4. So that's I'm assuming by that they either meet point differential or if like both teams 1 against 1 is probably what I'm thinking. And then the All-Stars are 12 players, 12 from each conference, selected without regard to position, which if you're going to do this style of like All-Star game, I do support that. I do think positions are important to an extent, which is why if we were doing this regularly, I'd like the idea of having 2 guards, 2 front court, and then a wild card for the starters, and then after that is the way that I feel we've actually had this discussion on the show before. But my number one gripe with it, I would say, is the fact that it sounds like, and I don't know how they're going to address this, but no matter what, there has to be 8 on the dot international players, and I just don't support that for multiple reasons.
So let's stop there for a second. 8 international players. All right. So I've always said this because people keep saying the international players, they're so good, they're closing the gap, and I'm like, no, they're not.
Yeah,
they're not. And they're like, what are you talking about? What about Luka? What about Joker? What about Giannis? And I go, yep. Give me any international team, any country that has more than 2 players that can make Team USA. And no one's been able to do it because there isn't. They've got multiple NBA players, but there's no team that has more than 2 players that can make Team USA.
Like Canada's maybe the only one with Shea and Jamal, but even Jamal would be pushing it.
But that's 2. Give me the third. I said more than 2.
At least 2. No, there's definitely not more than 2 here.
Where's the third? Yeah. So let's go down top international players. The easy ones, obviously, Luka, Jokic, SGA, Giannis.
Yes.
Keep going.
After that, keep going.
Exactly.
I don't want to say. I was going to say Gobert. I don't know if I don't think he's the next best. Okay, let's say Embiid. Just
Gobert.
Embiid.
Wemby.
Oh, Wemby, of course. Wemby at 6. Yeah. Embiid 7.
No, Embiid plays for Team USA. He's American now.
That's right. He does.
You can't be both. I'm sorry. You can't be both.
No, you cannot. Let's see. Let me pull it up real quick. My list. So we have 6 right now. So
RJ Barrett is Canadian 100%, but he's not. You think he's a all-star caliber player? Because that's my point. If you have to start reaching, so we got 6, and that's including Gobert, who I guess he's an all-star. Yeah, I guess Gobert's. Yeah, sure.
Scotty Barnes is American, right? Yeah, he is.
Scotty Barnes is American. Yes, he is.
Şengün.
Just because he plays in Canada.
Yeah.
Sengun. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sengun. Okay.
He made the All-Star game last year.
Sengun, yeah.
And one more. I guess either Franz Wagner. Yeah, Franz Wagner will probably be the best next. Yeah.
Okay. So all right, that's 8.
So
I thought there was gonna be 12, and that's where and if it's only 8, maybe it's okay. If you start getting to 12, you're starting.
Oh, so there's also Sabonis. There's also Avdia, Jalen's guy.
Divinity or Divinity.
Yeah, how the hell you say his name? Yeah.
His name.
Lou Dort, of course.
Is Lou Dort an all-star?
No.
So
and
my
I guess
fear is
Porzingis maybe.
They're gonna force all-stars in because they want and other people, American players who deserve to be all-stars are not going to make it in because it's like, do you remember there was a time, and you may not remember because it might have been before your time, there was a time when every team had to have an all-star?
I don't know if it's still like that. I don't know if it's still like that today, but it was for a very long time. No, none in the NBA, but like in baseball, I'm pretty sure it's still like that.
Oh, is it?
I think it is. Yeah.
I think that's ridiculous. If your team,
it is 100%.
You have an all-star player, you don't have an all-star player. I'm sorry, we got 3. Sorry, you got none.
And I guess the argument that like people pro this rule would say is, oh, for years the players out west have been getting screwed over based on the fact that they're playing in the West, even though they're so much better than the players in the East. But even then, like I don't know of many. I'm sure you could pick apart one or 2 players for each year, but. Or do we really think that like there are like a whole laundry list of players in the West that should be all stars above a whole laundry players of in the East? I don't think so.
I think so.
You think so?
I think so. I do. I've always thought that I get why they want to play the East versus West thing. I get it. It builds a rivalry. However, I think they should just look. It's the fan thing. So the fan should vote, and if it's the top 12 players, I believe. No, it's not the top 12 players. It's the top 24 players, right? Because it's 12-man roster or 10-man roster.
12.
Okay. So top 24. Top 24, if it's the vote, since it's the votes, we want to give it to the fans. I'm okay with that. The top 10 are voted in by the fans because that's what would be the starters. And then the coaches pick the next 14. Yep. And that's it. That's your all-stars. It shouldn't matter if you're the East. I don't care if there's 24 people out of the West. If those are the 24 best players or that the fans want to see the most, whatever, then that's who it is.
I used to be against that, but I'm more than okay with that now. Okay, especially because I liked it when, and I liked it back when, for the few I don't know why they got rid of it for the few years when the East and the West had captains. I think like my number one problem with it was that LeBron got to be captain every year, which I know isn't that big of a deal, but I would have liked like the role they have with coaches.
I think they should do like head coaches.
You can't exactly. But
coach 2 years in a row, you can't be the captain 2 years in a row because a different player will pick different people.
For sure.
Look, there's relationship. Like he's got, relationships. There's an agency that his best friend runs. That's an agent. Does he have to people that they represent? Like
the first year, I'm pretty sure. The first year, I'm pretty sure he took all clutch guys and Kyrie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And then
Vegas and then bronze. No, I'd go with the Vegas Mavericks because Mavericks actually makes sense because
it does
card players Mavericks
the V's as well. I also think that another real side is that Giannis should have been banned after the first draft from drafting because he drafted like the worst team possible. I'm pretty sure that he took Siakam with his first overall pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you know what I think would be awesome?
Yeah.
So if there's 24 players, let the top 12 vote getters, regardless of position, regardless of East West, let the top 12 vote getters get in. Then let the coaches pick the next 12.
Okay.
So that there's some people that, deservedly that maybe aren't popular, they get in.
Mhm.
And then everyone that votes, for every time you vote, you get a ballot. 2 people get picked out of those ballots, or 4 people. I start with 2 fans, and those are the captains, and they get to draft.
Oh,
And then you bring the fans down who've won because they voted so many times. You bring them down, and they get to do a draft, whether it's live, whether it's via like this, like a Skype or whatever,
cool.
Zoom call. Could you imagine? Like, I'm not only voting, I'm entering to win a chance, or it could be celebrities. Like, there's a million things you can do. Like, how funny would a few years ago, because now maybe he's a little, you're probably bored, but like have Kevin Hart and Shaq draft a team, or Kevin Hart and who's his boyfriend, The Rock, right? Just like, or whatever that is. Like, I'm sure there's going to be a movie where there's 2 comedians, going that what's his name? Adam Sandler and Chris Rock.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, Will Ferrell. Like, there's so many things that you can do instead of having a player draft a team, and you can give them certain, parameters, because you don't want just 12 guards against 12 centers, because then you're kind of screwed. Like, but they're not dumb. They'll go by, maybe you say, okay, you have to have 4 guards, 3 centers, and then the other, whatever, a mix of whatever else. Like, you could do. There's so many things you could do, that, because again, if this is supposed to be fan friendly thing, there's a million things you can do. They just don't want. Either they're just not smart, which also is a thing that could be possible, or they just don't want to do it.
Yeah. I'm all good with Kevin Hart's drafting a team. I think I've seen enough of Kevin. I think I've seen enough Kevin Hart's screen time within the All-Star game.
Yeah. That's why I said I did say a few years ago, because you're right. He's I think we're all done with that.
Yeah.
Me and you. You know what? We could have like.
Sure.
That's another thing. Okay, me and you might, but no. Or you have like these. There's so many sports podcasters out there that are super popular.
Like Kenny Beach and Pee Wee from Numbers on the Board. Like they're on Peacock now. Like, those guys.
So many. There's so many things they could do that's fan friendly. Heck, you could literally have people like American Idol say, okay, I've got this pick. Here's the players that left, right? For LeBron, press, text 1 to this number. For Steph, press 2. For Jokic, press 3. For da-da-da. And you can literally online say, okay, you got 3 minutes to do it. Da-da-da, boom. Number 1 is, hey, LeBron. Okay. All right, I got LeBron. And let the fans literally vote online. Heck, you want to charge them a penny to do it? You could actually probably make a bunch of money too. There's so many things you can do. And okay, maybe this is overstepping. You could have people betting live who the next pick's going to be.
That would 100% be a thing.
Dude, what about a prop bet? Over under on Siakam getting drafted, number 20. Over under. Like, there's so many, man, I'm giving the NBA so many great ideas. If you ever see any of these, I'm gonna call that they've stolen it.
We're on record. Yeah. On multiple platforms. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can't. Let's see. I'm trying to do 2 things at once, in case you're wondering why I'm being distracted.
No, you're good.
Okay, so how would you fix the All-Star game?
So, and I've thought about I've thought about this before, but like essentially, like what I would start with is people, but like I will address the complaints about like it being not fair with the positioning and everything. So my whole, and I think I mentioned this before, and I mentioned it 5 minutes ago. So 2 guards, 2 front court, a wild card, or in this case, since we're getting rid of conferences, I would say so 4 guards. Would it be 4 guards, 4 front court, and then 2 wild cards, and then it would be like a similar set up for the bench as well. So obviously, just having the best players is a good start. I did like the captain ideas at first, and I think everyone did. But however, like I think it dried out after a little bit. I think that's why they went back to East West. But I'll tell you one thing I don't enjoy is those that say, "Oh, just make the winner of the East versus West get home court in the finals." I think that's too much stakes. Like you want to have like some, if you want to have like some stakes, or you stick the lead. By the way, you want to have like some stakes, like on the rise.
Tried that in baseball, right? And
they did, and the American League won every single year. Like it was literally like 12 years in a row that they won. So it was just like an automatic chip in for every team that in the AL. Like it would be the same thing in the West.
I don't know.
And
the AL had home field this year. We still blew it in the bottom of the 11th, but
yeah, exactly.
So,
I know that Bill Simmons came up with this idea last year, and it wouldn't work, but like it sounds pretty cool in theory. So if by a certain date, you go through like only like the top 5 players in each conference get to qualify for this game for like this specific game, and there's like 8 players are picked total amongst all those teams. East versus West plays each other.
Yeah.
And then the winner of that gets home court because like at least that would be a little more justifiable because it's the teams that are going to be contending for home court. So like that would be maybe justifiable. And then after that, for those like the lower seeds, they can be an all-star, and then they would play against the rising stars because at least that because like both of them would be trying hard. Like that'll be like the Saturday night game. It's a big stretch, but and it probably wouldn't work, but and again, like the stakes might be a little too high, but it would be at least something to think about.
I just I don't know. I think we might just be done.
I agree
with All-Star games. It just like, we always complain about the dunk offs now. We don't complain about the 3-point shootout actually, but the skills challenge. The guys don't even want to be there. If you look at the guys doing the skills challenge, half of them don't even want to be there because they don't want to look bad. They don't want to be embarrassed because they know that they're going to be like a meme or whatever. And it's just like it's too bad. But I don't know. It's just not everything is forever. And
100%.
And maybe it's just maybe we just forget the All-Star game entirely. Give the players, if you want to give them a break, which they well deserve, give them a week off. Or I've actually said this, and I got a lot of pushback. I said, since no one's cares enough to watch the All-Star game anymore, right? It's fine, no problem. Make that the week of the NBA Cup final.
I don't hate that at all.
Bring everybody to Vegas or wherever. Or to one city, whatever the case may be. Like if they want the All-Star game to move around, because I know they like to do that too. Move it around and there you go.
I've said since it started, I think that the NBA Cup, it's the season. Sorry, it starts too early. Like 2 weeks into the season seems a little much to jump right in.
I think they peaked too early.
Yeah, and I just think that. The whole point of like something in season is that it should be in the middle of the season, not at the beginning of the season. So, yeah, but and like I also feel like it would if we keep the All-Star game, it would be cool to give them like rewards to like justify it even more like at like halftime of the game. So, yeah, like just like it's starting in October and then ending beginning of December. That doesn't really feel like an in-season tournament because it's months before the All-Star break.
Yeah. I'm with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Look at that. The Warriors tied it up 80-80.
Look at them.
Look at that. Everyone told me this was going to be a blowout. I was so convinced that it was going to be a blowout. I was about to actually switch over to my Lakers game because the Lakers are playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. The thing is, I don't actually know how to do it. So that our scoreboard up here changes. Let me click. All right, what else is going on that we need to talk about? How long have we been going? Oh, we still got like 10-15 minutes. So we're good. We're good. Oh no, we got 11 minutes. We're going to 10? Yeah. That's
sure. Yeah, we do that. Yeah. What else is going on? This one isn't really this one isn't that important, but yeah, Bradley Beal announced today that he's hip surgery. Yeah. Yeah, it's not like it's not like he was going to be like an essential player to that team. Did he even start the games? I don't know if he did or not. Was he starting? No, right?
There's so many injuries in and out. He probably started some, probably didn't start some.
Yeah. So I don't know. He was and I know Morris talked about this a lot. He was better than what people thought just because his contract was got awful, and I was looking forward to him playing this year with like no pressure at all, like him playing like amongst other vets who are also playing with nothing to lose as well. So yeah, it would have been like it would have been fun at the least, like seeing like all the old guys like play, like a lot of them are either they're retiring next year or even within the next couple of years. But yeah, it stinks out. Like this might be like the first injury that we'll see in this team.
It won't be this team is not going to it's gonna be tough. I listen, the Clippers are just the Clippers. Like I keep telling people and no one listens to me, and I keep telling them nothing's gonna change. Stop looking for things to change. It's just not gonna change. They're the Clippers.
Yeah.
I just gotta ask this question really quick. Okay, let me ask this question because this came in from Ralph on the TikTok side.
Sure.
And I'll start with you so I can do what I have to do. What are your thoughts on the Knicks this year?
It's funny, my fantasy group chat and I were having a big conversation about the Knicks yesterday. I think even though the standings don't say otherwise, I based on what I've seen this year, I still believe that the Cavs and the Knicks are both the overwhelming favorites to come out of the East. Based on just like obviously neither the Cavs nor the Knicks have done a ton to like totally pencil themselves in as shoo-ins for the conference finals. I'd be surprised if not one of them made the conference finals, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was both of them. Like I think that at least one of them will be in the conference finals, and I think one of them will make the finals. But that being said, it's not like it's like LeBron with the Heat or even LeBron with the Cavs. Like, oh, they're going to make the finals. They're going to make the conference finals. On the Knicks end, they just have overall top to bottom one of the better rosters. Obviously, they have the superstar in Brunson. He's easily top 10 player when healthy. Cat is one of the best second options in the league. I'll talk about him in a second though. And then good amount of 3-and-D players. You got a good playmaker scorer off the bench in Jordan Clarkson. Got one of the best backup centers in the league, and on certain nights starting centers in the league in Mitch Robinson when healthy. But just a couple issues here and there. One of them being Mitch Robinson is injury prone. And I don't know. I don't really trust their big man depth outside of Cats to go far in the playoffs. And that which segues me into my other problem with Cats is I think that he puts a ceiling on teams with his defense. We saw it last year in the conference finals. Later in the playoffs, as teams play as teams like have like better, more diverse styles of offense, it gets harder for guys like Cat to play because he's a defensive liability, and the better offensive teams are able to expose them. So Cat is one of the best. I think he's a top 20 player in the league. Definitely high up there. But I think there is a world where we see it again, where Cat is exposed in the playoffs. And maybe this is the year that changes, but I don't know. I haven't seen otherwise yet.
Oh, interesting. Because Cat, I'll say, I thought Cat is a defensive liability, but I thought he did well, surprisingly well in the playoffs last year. And that I was like, okay, maybe things are changing for Cat. But yeah, and when you have a Jalen Brunson and a Cat,
exactly,
it's okay. You can guard one, but then I was reminded if Cat and Brunson play out of their minds, their defense doesn't matter. And I was reminded of Jokic and Jamal Murray.
Exactly.
Not defensive guys, but Murray played incredibly like above his ceiling, I think, and Jokic was Jokic, and they found a way. And the reason they were able to do that is they had Aaron Gordon and Bruce Brown and Christian Brown, and they had these other guys that were good. Even Aaron Gordon played really well defensively, so they had these really good defensive guys around them. And I think that's where Brunson and Cat maybe have the ability to, because they have Mitchell Robinson, OG, Bridges. Like there's defenders around them.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah. So because they have these defenders around them, I think you can. I don't want to say hide them, but you can get away with it a little bit more.
Exactly.
So to answer your question, Ralph, I think the Knicks, because of what I'm seeing out of the other teams in the East, like there's no reason why they couldn't. I'm not picking them, but there's no
Yeah.
reason they couldn't make the NBA final.
No. Yeah.
Again, healthy. I just want you to know that what I just watched, Al Horford hitting a three, and the Warriors going on a run. The Warriors up 92-84 heading into the fourth.
Are we partying like it's 2016-17 over again with the Warriors lighting it up in the third quarter?
I'm just saying there's a chance. Saying there's a chance. Jordan, hello, go to bed. It's almost 10 p.m. One of my players who needs to rest.
Shout out to Mo Better, NBA content creator. I stitched one of the videos yesterday. He just gave us a shout out in the comment section and my end as well. So
I was gonna say he needs to go to sleep. He's got a tough practice tomorrow. Trust me, I'm gonna run the crap out of you guys because we got a tournament this weekend. That we're gonna win. We're the defending champs. Yes, go ahead.
Speaking of younger people commenting on the stream, I went live yesterday, and a couple of my students from last year, and I'm saying this now because they're not on here now. From last year, were commenting on it, and luckily, I think I cracked the system. I think it's only one time in. I banned a couple of the words that they would say, and they weren't they weren't inappropriate. It's just that if they
let me guess, you banned 6-7.
I did not ban 6-7. No, I banned the word teacher because like they say oh, he's my teacher. I banned the word school. I banned the word Driscoll, my last name, because they say Mr. Driscoll. Like it gets you know what it is. It's not inappropriate. It's just distracting when they're talking about things that don't have to do with basketball. Like and that's all I want to do.
That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We hit the 10 o'clock hour. We tried a little something new. And I know we didn't really talk about the game as was happening, but what we're gonna do, I think on Wednesdays. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna mix in our NBA content with NBA Max, and we're gonna mix in. We'll pick a game that's on at the time that we're playing. So we weren't ready this week. Let's just be honest. This was on a whim. We whipped it up in about 13 seconds. I even created this whole stage with the scoreboard and everything, the live scoreboard. Literally, we were live as I was doing it.
Nice.
And it turned out okay. I'm gonna give myself some credit. People on TikTok have no idea what I'm talking about. People on TikTok, we went to Sports Fluent YouTube, you'd see like this wonderful setup that I have over here. And so we're gonna do rules. What's rules? Tell me. Oh, wait. Last year's playoffs, the league was allowed players played more physical. Do you see them changing the rules? Oh, okay. Let's quickly talk about that.
Did they allow them to play more physical in the playoffs last year?
Yes, they did.
I feel like they do that every year. Was it another extreme last year? Not extreme.
I think it was more so than before. There were like
was
there
it?
was
Okay.
lot of hand check. There was a lot of hand checking last year.
Okay, yeah,
and I think that's why everybody loved the playoffs.
Probably, yeah.
I'm just gonna put this out there. I'm not. You know me. I'm not picking on. I know you guys can't hear this.
LeBron James.
Maybe you could. I'm not picking on him, but he's been gone, and ratings have never been higher.
It's and as someone who has rooted against LeBron his entire career, I've always said like the league is going to struggle when he's gone. I don't feel that way anymore. Like maybe it was good that he's
there's so many. Listen, I think in the 80s you needed Bird and Magic. You needed a rivalry. You needed a reason to draw people in.
Yes.
In the 90s, you needed Jordan to take it international. You needed that one, above this. I'm quoting Larry Bird. You needed this one God type figure to be like, oh. The 2000s was horrible because we had gotten into this really defensive. I compare it to in hockey when there was the neutral zone trap in the early 2000s where it was like, ugh. And then they changed the rules. They opened it up. And you probably needed LeBron to take that the mantle from those guys and carry it. We are
yeah,
now.
and they needed him to be like the like to also be the guy to like take over the player empowerment movement. Where like people started to root for players, not teams, which in a way which in a way has made the league worse. The fact that people root for players more than teams now, but
I
like that's part of
it. But I think that's starting. I think that might be starting to change. But that being
Yeah.
said, you needed LeBron to carry that, and now the NBA is in such a good position when you look at like how many great players we have. The last step is to Ralph's question, allow them in the playoffs, not in the regular season, allow them in the playoffs to turn it up a little bit and allow a little bit of that stuff. The last piece is stay where you are. If the players are especially the best ones, are like if they pull like a Giannis and stay, even though they probably should leave,
Steph, yeah,
and allow people to become fans of teams again and stop bouncing around. I think you're going to see a renaissance of the NBA. Mixing the old with the new, with the immense talent that we have. Yes, there was a time when you could only have one superstar on a team. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you look at the teams that had success, I've said this a million times. Look at the teams that have long-term success, and I promise you'll have a superstar, a secondary scorer, a defensive stopper, a rebounder, and two of those four things coming off the bench.
Yep.
And I challenge you to tell me otherwise. Now, you had a couple of blips, right? KD to the Warriors where you had two superstars. But that's rare. But even then, one person will play a role, right? The Miami Heat, once they figured out LeBron's the superstar, Dwayne Wayne's the secondary guy, Bosch is this like complementary piece that just does like you not even score points sometimes and still influence the game. That's when they became good, but that obviously didn't last that long. But look at all the teams that won. You can go down the list and I'll show you who that person is at each of those six things that I mentioned. That's how you win. Like and stay. When I say win, I don't just mean win an NBA title because it's not.
Yeah,
it is important.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying like win and have longevity in terms of your success. So anyways, sorry, I went off on a tangent because he asked that question. Thank you, Ralph, because we're getting off now. But that being said, close game, so we're going to go watch the fourth quarter. In upcoming weeks on NBA Max, we're going to have a game of the week that we will have playing. I have my TV right here, and it'll be playing. And you'll have and we can, because there's some reaction things we're going to want to do as the game plays. But we'll have a featured game. And then we'll have our NBA content. Of course, Jalen Carter and Ori will be joining us as well, which means I'm going to have to set up a screen that has this scoreboard and all four of us in it. I'll figure that out. Are you doing?
We're back tomorrow. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks, but John, Matt, and I we're back doing all American News. We're probably going to talk a lot about what we talked about tonight, but yeah, it's always good to get other perspective as well. So yeah,
that's what's going on in the world. You got to talk about it. All right.
Exactly,
For those of you on TikTok, you don't know what I do, but I'm going to give you the inside scoop. What I do is, as we're talking on YouTube, out of nowhere, I just hit end, and they don't.
It means nothing. Fluent and chill, you can call it how it's played from the field to the court. Every minute is weighed. Fourth quarter heat over 2-minute drill. If you can't handle truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron or MJ.